Bonjour classe! Today's topic, adjectives in French, specifically the ones about physical appearance. Let's talk about how people look. Nos objectifs. By the end of this video, you'll be able to answer our new question, comment es-tu, which means what do you like? Describe yourself with je suis, which means I am, and use 12 new description words relating to physical appearance. Let's start with our new question. Comment es-tu? Or the more formal, comment êtes-vous? Mean, what are you like? I'm inviting you to describe yourself a little bit. Answer with je suis, which means I am. If you're a boy, you need to fill in that blank with a word from the blue column. If you're a girl, you should use a word from the pink column. Can you translate the conversation I have at the bottom? You should also practice your answer that you're going to use in la présentation with your partner. Imagine that you're asked, comment es-tu? What are you like? How would you answer for yourself? By now, you've probably noticed that French description words, especially the ones in this unit, come in pairs. We've got our masculine words for boys and our feminine words for girls. Remember, the masculine word is usually shorter and it can end in any letter. Often that final letter is one of our silent ones, like T, X, S, or D. The feminine spelling is usually about the same plus the letter E. Remember, adding this E pushes our silent letters out of the final position. That means they'll be pronounced again. A final note, if a word already ends in an E, like jeune or mush, you don't add another E when feminine. French words don't end in double E. My picture in the bottom right sums it up. If a boy wants to say he's tall, he will say, je suis grand. If a girl wants to say she's tall, she will say, je suis grande. Let's get a little practice in with our masculine words, especially with our 410 Hollywood superstar, Danny DeVito. Select all adjectives from our list that would describe him. Now it's time to practice our feminine vocab with 5'10" actress Gal Gadot, who's known for playing Wonder Woman. Select all of the adjectives from our list that would describe her. Let's practice a little bit more with masculine and feminine. On the left, I have 7 sentences. Look at the spelling of the description words. Can you tell if these sentences are about boys or girls? Let's look at my answer key. I won't go over all of them, but the general way that I could tell was looking for that extra letter E. You'll notice that in number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 7, it's obvious that these are about girls because all of the description words have the feminine E. With number 2, number 5, and number 6, there is no E at the end, and if there is a final letter, it's often one of our silent letters, like X, D, or T. One more bit of practice. Guys, I have 6 sentences on the left describing either a boy or a girl. The French sentence on the right has the first few words, but it's missing the description word. You should choose the correct ones to go on the blank. Taking a look at our answer key, it's the same as the last activity we did. For all of the sentences about boys, you should pick the shortest, simplest spelling. For all of the sentences about girls, like number 2 and number 5, make sure you use the spelling from the second column on your vocab that has the extra E's on the end. Alright, we've had a little bit more practice with our masculine and feminine words, so I want to ask you our question of the unit one last time. Comment es-tu? Remember, you should start your answer with je suis, and of course your description must match your gender. Okay, by now you are pretty good at masculine and feminine. However, we've only been describing one person at a time. Il est, elle est, or even je suis. What if we're talking about groups? Well, describing groups is simple. If you're describing more than one guy, use the masculine spelling plus the letter S. If you're describing multiple girls, use the feminine spelling plus the letter S as well. If you look on the right, I used basketball players because they're known for being tall. On the top, I have a group of tall guys, and it says ils sont grands with an extra S. On the bottom, I have a group of girls. Elles sont grandes. There's an E because it's girls, and there's an S because it's a group. Here are some more examples. On the left, I have sentences about just one person, one boy or one girl. On the right, I have sentences that are very similar, but now they're about a group. Notice that on the right, all of the sentences end in the letter S. When it's a group of just guys, it'll only be the letter S. Ils sont bruns, ils sont petits, ils sont minces. However, in all of my pink sentences, the ones about groups of girls, you'll notice that they end in both E and S. Elles sont blondes, elles sont grandes, elles sont rousses. Couple more notes before we finish. Remember, if your sentence starter is nous, that means we. And we is always a group, you plus other people. That means that the description word should be plural too. Take a look at the picture in the top right. That family might say out loud, nous sommes blonds, with an S. Remember also that the formal vous must be used when addressing a group. Since you are addressing a group, you should also make that word plural. If this person is giving a presentation to people with dark hair, she would say, vous êtes brun. You are dark-haired. That S is there to mark the group that she is addressing. Last but not least, there is the letter X. As a general tip, if a word ends in X, it describes a man. Remember that if a word ends in X, it does not add an S for plural. It actually stays the same even when describing multiple guys. For example, il est vieux, ils sont vieux. There's one other tricky thing about the letter X. The word beau, which means handsome, becomes plural with an X rather than an S. Look down below. Il est beau means he is handsome. Ils sont beaux, with a silent X, means they are handsome. You can think of it like the X-Men, and remember, the letter X only really has one superpower, and that's being silent at the end of words. One last little bit of practice, and we are almost done. Take a look at these sentences. On the left, I have some sentences about one person, some sentences about a whole group. You should choose the right word to complete the sentence on the right. Let's summarize up what we've learned today. First of all, our new question is, comment es-tu? Comment es-tu? And that means, what do you like? You'll answer with je suis, which means I am. Remember, our new description words can be spelled up to 4 different ways. That's the main grammar point of our new unit. As you can see on the right, the word grand, which means tall, can be spelled with a final D, with a DE, with a DS, and even with a DES. Last but not least, we've got one weird exception word on our vocab list, and that is the word beau, which means handsome. If you're describing a group of handsome gentlemen, you will spell it with an X and not an S. Hope that made sense to you guys. Au revoir.